Hello everyone! Again, this is Teacher Roxanne, and for this week, we are going to read an Iranian tale entitled The Little Black Fish, written by Samad Birangi. Before we proceed on reading the text, let me ask you a question. What is your purpose of reading? We can have several reasons. It can be to learn, to kill the time, and it can be part of our job. But one thing is for sure, when we're reading stories, we can get lessons in life. We may not have the same experience with the characters in the story, but through this, we can have insights on how to deal with different situations in the future. Now, these lessons can be about humanity, relationship, and individuality. And these lessons are what we call the theme of the story. Now, what is a theme? Remember, a theme is the main purpose of the author on writing the story. Now, let us have an excerpt from your workbook, page 238. Let me read that part. I want to go see where the stream ends. You know, Mother, for months I've been wondering where the end of the stream is. I haven't been able to think about anything else. I didn't sleep a wink all night. At last, I decided to go and find where the stream ends. I want to know what's happening in other places. Listen to the places this half-pint wants to go, replied the mother. Saying over and over again, I want to go see what's happening in the world. What pretentious talk! This time, I want you to use the details in this excerpt to find the theme. As you can notice, our first sentence is, I want to go see where the stream ends. So we can infer that our main character wants to explore. And on the next paragraph, we can say that the mother rebuked his idea of leaving the stream. But despite this, the little blackfish still decided to live. Now our theme is pursue freedom and personal exploration despite of the contradiction of other people. The tale that we are about to read goes around with the idea of exploration. Now let me ask you a question. What motivates people to journey and explore? How about you as a student? What is your motivation to explore and learn new things? We can have several reasons. It can be to learn, to experience, and to achieve. Most of the time, we have questions in our mind, and we keep on being restless unless we already have the answers. Now we want to experience and of course to achieve a goal in the future. Again, the tale of the little blackfish is about exploration. Through its journey, you will learn several lessons which you can relate from. Let us know the author of the little blackfish. He is Samad Birangi. He is an Iranian author, teacher in Iranian village, author of children's stories. He is also interested in folktales, and The Little Blackfish is the most famous tale he wrote. Now let us proceed on reading the text. I want you to open your textbook on page 354 to 372. You can also open your website in Alpha. Have you read the story? That's great. I hope you understand it. Now let us summarize the selection. And let me read it for you. Once upon a time, there was a little blackfish living with its mother in a stream. They kept on swimming after each other morning until evening. Until one morning, the little one decided to talk to its mother and told her that it wants to leave and find where the stream ends. But its mother got mad at the idea. The argument caught the neighbors' attention. They rebuked its plan of leaving and tried to catch it. Despite their resentment, the little blackfish left. Along its journey, it encountered several creatures whom he got ideas and learned something. Aside from learning, he encountered dangers, but it managed to outwit several creatures like the pelican and heron, and learned that there are more outside the small stream they were swimming. Now that you already understood the story, let us do the activity in your workbook, page 238. Let us determine the theme of the excerpt given here. Let me read it first. At least, responded the fish, you must wonder where this water comes from and what things are outside of it. The frog responded, worthless creature, now is not the time to show off. You've found some children to listen to you and are talking pretentiously. I've lived long enough to know that the world is this pond. Mind your own business and don't lead my children astray. If you lived 100 years, said the little fish, you'd still be nothing more than an ignorant and helpless frog. Now, you are going to identify the theme of this excerpt. Look for the details that might be useful. Do you already get your answer? Alright, that's great. Now, let us have the key details first. The frog, like the little fish mother, thinks the fish is pretentious. The fish thinks the frog is ignorant. Now, what do you think is the theme? Alright, do not let the opinions of others distract you from your goals. Usually, if we want something in life, we might receive criticism from others. But the thing is, we must have our focus. We must not give up because of other people's opinion. Your second task on the same page is to reread the section of the story in which the little fish talks to the moon. Which details in that scene support the theme you identified above? Earlier, we stated that the little blackfish is too determined to achieve its goal despite the criticism of others. Now, which do you think is the detail that supports the idea that he's too determined to achieve its goal? Now, let us move on to number 3. I hope you can have the correct answer in the previous question. Reread the end of the story, where the heron swallows the little fish. Identify key details and enter your ideas about the theme in the chart. Has the theme changed significantly over the course of the story? Enter your response in the box below the chart. First, let us have the key detail at the end of the story. The little fish refuses to give up. Even though it is dying, it is determined to kill the heron and give peace of mind to all the fish. Through these key details, I want you to identify the theme. Do you think the theme changed significantly over the course of the story? The answer is yes, because at the beginning, the little blackfish is determined to explore, but at the end, it is determined to kill the heron and help other fish. After answering your workbook, let us move back to the story and let us answer several questions. Let us have the first question in close reading. Why does the little blackfish want to leave home? You can see the answer in this excerpt provided. Did you get it? That's great. The little blackfish is tired of swimming. It wants to see what's happening elsewhere and to know if there is more to life than swimming around in circles in the same place. Our next question is, What ideas does the little black fish have about the world? How do its ideas differ from those of the older fish? You can see the details here on the excerpt. Through this, we can infer that the little black fish believes that there is more than this stream where they are swimming. The little fish thinks that the world is big enough to extend beyond its familiar surroundings. The older fish believe that the world is no bigger than the area that makes up their home. Third question. What does the little fish mean when it tells its mother not to cry for it, but for the old fish that stay behind? I want you to look at this excerpt and look for details. Did you see it? Alright. On this part, the little blackfish is already leaving. But it stated to its mother that she should not cry, but for those old ones. What do you think is the reason behind that? Okay, she should not worry. Instead, she should feel sorry for the old fish who have never experienced the world and have limited knowledge about things outside their home. So, we will feel sorry for those who refuse for knowledge. Now let us move on to the next question, but before that, let me read this excerpt. If you weren't ignorant, replied the fish, you'd know that there are many others in the world who are pleased with their appearances. You don't even have names of your own. The tadpoles became very angry, but since they knew the little fish spoke truthfully, they changed their tone and said, really, you're wasting words. We swim around the world every day from morning till evening, but except for ourselves and our father and mother, we see no one. Of course, there are the tiny worms, but they don't count. You can't even leave the pond, said the fish. How can you talk about traveling around the world? Now, the question is, describe the little blackfish character based on what you have read. Then cite details. What can you say about the little blackfish? We can infer that it thinks that it is intelligent. It responds to the tadpoles that they are ignorant. So we can say that the fish is thinking that it knows more than the tadpoles. Now let us have our fifth question. What might the little blackfish learn from its encounters with the frog and the crab? You can see details on the excerpt provided above. Do you already have your answer? That's great. The little blackfish might learn that not every animal in the world will be friendly. It might start to realize that there are animals who mean to hurt it or who are stronger than it is. It is the same thing as humans. We must realize that not all people around us are friendly, but we must learn how to handle it. This excerpt contains the conversation between the lizard and the little blackfish. Now the question is, what does the lizard give the fish? Why might this object be important later? Alright, the lizard gives the fish a dagger. It might be important later because the fish might meet a pelican and need to use a dagger to defend itself. Our next question is, what ideas does the little blackfish have about the world? How do its ideas differ from those of the older fish? You can see the details here on the excerpt. Through this, we can infer that the little blackfish believes that there is more than this stream where they are swimming. The little fish thinks that the world is big enough to extend beyond its familiar surroundings. The older fish believe that the world is no bigger than the area that makes up their home. Our next question is, what do you think the moon is going to say when the clouds came? How does this remark relate to the little fish quest? Look at the excerpt above. Do you already have your answer? Great. The moon was probably going to say, whatever they want, humans can do. It relates to the little fish quest because it is also doing what others thought was impossible. At the beginning, we can say that it's impossible for humans to go to the moon, but it happened. It is the same with the little blackfish quest. So other fish are thinking that it's impossible, but he did it. Alright, let us move on. Examine how the tiny fish behave toward the little fish. How do their attitudes change after they are captured? Let me read the excerpt. "My friends," said the little blackfish, "we've been caught in the pelican's pouch, but there's a chance to escape." All the tiny fish began to cry. One of them said, "There's no way to escape. It's your fault since you influenced us and led us astray. Now, he's going to swallow us all and then we'll die," said another. So, how are you going to describe this fish reaction? Alright, before they are captured, the fish are eager to follow the little blackfish. After they are captured, they blame the little blackfish for leading them astray. Let us move on. Why does the little blackfish swim to the surface of the sea? Is it wise for the little fish to swim there? Explain. Look at the excerpt above. Alright, so the little blackfish swims to the surface because it is exploring. It enjoys the feeling of the warmth of the sun, and it is not wise for the little fish to swim near the surface because the heron can see and catch it there. Next, what does a little blackfish plan to do and why? What does this plan reveal about its character? So this part is already at the end. What do you think is the correct answer? Alright, the little blackfish plans to kill the heron to give peace of mind to all the fish. This shows that it is brave and determined, and also that it is concerned about the well-being of others. After answering the close reading questions, let us move on to critical reading. And I hope you can still follow. Let us have the first question. Why does the little blackfish journey from its home? Please look at the beginning of the selection. It wants to see what is beyond the stream where it lives. Next one. I want you to summarize what happens to the little blackfish. But here is another example. It sets out on a journey that leads it to the sea. Along the way, it meets other fish and animals. Some who help it and some who try to hurt it. At the end of the story, the little blackfish kills the heron who has swallowed it. But then, the blackfish disappears. Let us move on. At the beginning of the story, the little blackfish lives in a community of fish. How is it different from other fish? Cite details. Now I want you to look at the beginning of the story. How is the little blackfish differ from old ones? Alright. The little blackfish wants to leave the stream and explore, while the other fish want to stay where they are. They call it pretentious and philosopher. So this fish believe that it's the only place to live in. Our next question is, how does the little blackfish escape from the pelican? Alright, the little fish escapes by pretending to be dead and used a dagger to slice open the pelican's pouch. Now, the next question is, what do its actions reveal about its character? From our first answer, we can infer that the little blackfish is smart. This shows that it is quick thinking. It is also determined to escape. Next question. What is one message or theme that the author conveys in the story? In letter A, you can have your own answer. You can have different ones. But one answer is, one theme is the importance of determination, because the little blackfish is too determined to explore and learn new things. Next question, what details from the text support this theme? The little blackfish is determined to leave the stream and explore. It does not give up despite the advice of other fish and dangers it encountered along its journey. Next one. At the end of the story, a little red fish can't get to sleep. What do you think will happen to her? Support your answer with evidence from the story. So after telling the story to the little red fish, it cannot get to sleep. What do you think is the reason behind this? It is because it wants to explore too. Alright. So the little red fish might follow the path of the little black fish and leave her home to explore. What makes you think so? The ending of the story echoes the beginning. So another journey might start again.